electron affinity. It is also known as, normally represented by EA. It is also known as electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy, because all these heat changes are expressed in terms of enthalpy. I told you, thermodynamic parameter. Enthalpy is the heat content. Enthalpy. The symbol is H. Enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy. It's very difficult to know absolute value, but I can always find the change in the value, change in the enthalpy. How is the change in the enthalpy represented? Delta H and subscript E dot G dot. Electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy. Electron affinity. Now, whenever you want to discuss this particular property, in the earlier one, we were making use of the metals only to compare the ionization enthalpy. Why? Why? Why only metals are normally chosen as examples? Metals are electropositive. Only metals can lose electrons more readily. The same time, of course, nothing wrong in comparing the ionization enthalpy in the case of the non-metals also, isn't it? The same theory is applicable, holds good. Now, similarly, whenever you want to make use of the electron affinity, we normally use the non-metals only, because why is it so? Again, one more question for assertion and reasoning. Generally, non-metals are chosen to compare the properties of electron gain enthalpy, because non-metals are electronegative. Electronegative. Now, let me take halogens. The moment I think of non-metal, I take the halogens. Halogens are fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Iodine. Now, let's see. Down a group and across a period. Down a group. First of all, we should discuss with respect to the periodic table and then individual elements. Down a group and across a period. Across a period. Let me take this first, easy. Across a period, what should happen? The electron gain enthalpy. First of all, you should know what is the electron gain enthalpy. Let me take an element X here, and that element X accepts one electron because it is electronegative, because it has got more than 4 in the outermost shell, isn't it? Only elements which have got more than 4 called electronegative elements, more than 4. Therefore, after accepting one electron, it forms X minus. And as we have explained earlier, it can also accept 1 more electron, 2 more electrons, so on and so forth here. Now, being electronegative element, because already they got affinity towards the electron, therefore, you are able to satisfy the thirst for electron. Relatively, this should be more stable than this, because you are able to quench the thirst for electron. Let me take simple example. Chlorine converted to Cl minus, which is going to be more stable. Cl minus is more stable, obviously, because electronic configuration is going to be 287 here, and this is going to be 288 here, and you are able to get the octet configuration. And because of octet configuration, stability increases. How does the stability increase? By decreasing the potential energy. Higher the potential energy, lesser the stability. Greater the stability, lesser the potential energy. When any system comes from the higher energy level to lower energy level, energy has to be given out. So, should I start with the statement, it is the amount of energy released or energy absorbed here? Energy released. Energy released. Energy released. Whereas in the previous case, what did you say in the case of ionization enthalpy? Is a moment of energy. Because you have to be very careful about what exactly you are. You don't get confused between these two. Sir, why do you say absorption there? Why do you say release here? Now, it is absorption there because there is going to be equal number of protons and electrons over there. And I want to remove that particular electron, okay, away from the attraction, nuclear attraction, beyond that attraction here. Whereas here, we go by the electronic configuration, stability, which is going to be more stable. Therefore, amount of energy given out. The amount of energy given out is exothermic reaction. How is it? The sign of the exothermic reaction, delta H is equal to negative or positive? Negative. Why negative?
So because the final product has lesser.
Wonderful. Final product. You should always get tuned to this potential energy diagram whenever you have confusion about the exothermic reaction, endothermic reaction. What is the kind of diagram you put for exothermic reaction? Isn't it? You have a reactant here, there's a final state product here. This is an exothermic reaction. Therefore, this is going to be exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. And what about the enthalpy here? The enthalpy of this is going to be less. And what is delta H? Delta H, as he rightly said, always final state minus the initial state. And del HP, enthalpy, the product is less, minus enthalpy of the reactant. Therefore, delta H has to be negative. This is one simple question asked in any competitive examination. Therefore, delta H must be negative here, exothermic reaction. Now, that has to be, that is how we have to initiate the definition. It's the amount of energy really. Please listen. Yeah, what are the conditions you have to take? You have to take, as usual, atom, gaseous atom, and you have to add an electron. And where are you going to add an electron? Always add an electron to the last shell of a neutral atom. Okay? And then the amount of energy release. So, it is the amount of energy release when an electron, loosely bound electron, because it should not be attracted by, held by any other atom. It's a new simple electron in the space. Okay, that is called loosely bound electron. It should not be a property of anything else. So, loosely bound electron, how is it visible? You have to visualize it. That's the definition. Otherwise, if that is going to be attracted, belongs to the property of any other thing, then the whole thing is going to be different. So, let us take the atom, electron here. Let me add one electron and loosely bound electron to the last shell of a gaseous atom of an element. And generally, because we are using this particular term for the non-metals here, so energy must be released. Electronic configuration, it just requires only one electron to complete the octet configuration. Write it. Whereas here it requires 2 electrons. It requires 2 electrons, F minus, O2 minus. In fact, O2 minus has to be visualized stepwise process. First it releases 1 electron, absorbs 1 electron, O minus here. Sorry, plus 1 electron. Put plus 1 electron. Are we not adding 1 electron? Yes. So, what should happen here? We are comparing only these two. We are adding only 1 electron by the definition. Isn't it? We are not adding any number of electrons. Nitrogen requires 3 electrons to complete the octet, group 15. Isn't it? What are the group 15 elements? You should say quickly, nitrogen, phosphorus. That is why you require the revision. We have already given them the periodic table. Yes, it's a waste. We need not have given. They have not used it at all. Now first time you are given a periodic table. You have not yet collected. How many of you have not yet collected? Yeah, please collect it before you go. You got it with you. வீட்டில் இருக்கு பத்திரமா ஃப்ரேம் போட்டு வை கொண்டு வரணியா you must bring it here to the class. For that purpose only it is given. Anything given free of cost, அவ்வளோதான் எடுத்து. Okay, now see here, oxygen requires only 1 electron, sorry, 2 electrons here for fluorine. Therefore, fluorine has got greater affinity. Second explanation, first explanation in terms of electronic configuration. What is the second explanation? Attempt panne. What is the second explanation why fluorine is able to accept electron? Raise your hand if you know the answer. Effective nuclear charge increases. More number of protons. And all these things are added to form, to say that size of fluorine atom is much smaller. Atomic radius. That is the point. Okay, the first point is going to be electronic configuration. The second point is going to be atomic radius. Lesser the atomic radius, greater the attraction. Therefore, the amount of energy given out is, now tell me correctly, increases. Affinity towards added electron decreases. Because affinity is added electron in the case of, don't bother about the fluorine. I have got an exception there. That is why I have used the term generally. Generally, Now, it is so in the case of chlorine, bromine, iodine. It is going to be 2, you have a thing, 8, 7. You are adding to the third shell. In the case of bromine, you are adding to the fourth shell. In the case of the iodine, you are adding to the fifth shell. 1 electron is added here, 1 electron is added here. When electron is added to a shell which is far away from the nucleus, therefore attraction towards the added electron is less than this. The amount of energy given out also is less. Therefore, from chlorine, bromine and iodine, not only in general, elements from the third period onwards, third period to fourth period to fifth period, sixth period, ionization, this electron gain enthalpy should decrease. Electron gain enthalpy should decrease because of 2 reasons. Number 1, atomic radius increases. Atomic radius increases. What is the second one? What is the second explanation? Why should it decrease? That is what we are explaining. Why attraction towards added electron decreased? Size is taken care of in terms of atomic radius. How many times you want to say? Huh? Attraction of the protons. What do you say that? What do you say? Inner electrons. A number of inner electrons. Shielding effect. Inner electrons. As the number of inner electron, that number increases, the attraction towards added electrons will decrease. Affecting nuclear charge here decreases. Including all the halogens, electron gain enthalpy, a very, very important question here. They give you a different option. Which of them is going to be the correct option here? I shall write the correct answer first. It is going to be chlorine greater than fluorine, greater than bromine, and greater than iodine. That is the discrepancy. Normally it should have been fluorine greater than chlorine, greater than bromine, and greater than iodine. The fluorine attracts the 1 electron less effectively than chlorine. But this is the correct answer. In terms of the size of an atom, we have already seen it in the first point. What is the first point here? In the case of size of halogens, I am taking up the halogens only. Group 17 elements. Make a note of this. Group 17 element. This is going to be fluorine is smaller than chlorine, smaller than bromine, and smaller than. There is no doubt about that at all. Electronegativity. Fluorine obviously has our chlorine greater than bromine greater than iodine. Normally they don't ask you any questions here. There is no discrepancy. Any fellow can write. The question they are going to ask only this. Wherever you have a discrepancy. Didn't you see the discrepancy in the case of ionization enthalpy? Lithium, beryllium, boron is less, carbon, nitrogen, then oxygen is less, then fluorine and neon. We remember that graph. If you remember that graph, you are able to write. Same way, you have to, they ask questions here, various permutation combination. The first answer, everyone would probably tempted to write this answer only. Fluorine greater than chlorine, bromine. It is incorrect answer. This is going to be. Now that I have given you, how do you account for the discrepancy of the fluorine over there? Electron repulsion. Why should there be electron?
Size be so small, sir. So distance between the electrons will be less, so there will be more repulsion.
Repeat, I didn't follow you.
Size will be so small.
Size is small, wonderful. Wait. We'll make it clear for others also. You are in the right direction. This is going to be fluorine here. This is going to be chlorine here. And you have added 1 electron here. And you are adding 1 electron here away from that. Therefore, you are adding an electron to a smaller atom. How many electrons are there already? 7 electrons. And you are adding an electron here. How many electrons are there? 7 electrons. Now tell me, why should the repulsion be more and the repulsion is less? 17 protons here. Okay.
In chlorine, then there's increase in the number of inner electrons. So
Okay. Number of inner electrons, okay.
So the atom bulges out.
Well, some bulges out, okay. And then. I got another explanation. Let's see whether it is going to be, can be understood more clearly. You are adding 8th electron. In both the cases, you are adding 8th electron. Make a note of it, 2, 8. This is going to be, you add one more electron, 8th electron to the last shell. 2, 8, and 8 here. And 8th electron is added to a shell wherein already we have got 7 electrons. What is the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in the second shell? 8 electrons. When compared to 8 electrons, 7 electrons already there. You visualize the same situation here. You are adding one electron, the last electron, to the third shell. Third shell also has got 7 electrons. What is the maximum number that can be accommodated in the third shell? 18 electrons. So we have plenty of, that is what is meant by the distance between electron and the repulsion, because it is said to be crowded here. These 7 electrons are said to be crowded because they are in a shell wherein it can accommodate only 8 electrons, and here the 7 electrons are there, which is there present in a shell which can accommodate 18 electrons. Therefore, these 7 electrons are less crowded in chlorine than in the case of fluorine. The 7 electrons in the fluorine is more crowded. Since it's already more jam-packed here, it is reluctant to accept one more electron. It feels already crowded over there, and if we want to put one more electron, no, it says no, I don't want that. Now, initially there is reluctance. As I told you, you are not well. The government doctor gives you the medicine. Of course, it is going to be very bitter. And you are not prepared to take up that in the first instant. But having taken that, what happened? You feel all right. Now, same thing happens here. It is reluctant to accept an electron. After that, it forms F minus. F minus is going to be inert and inactive. Chlorine is going to be highly reactive. Chloride is going to be highly inert and inactive. I can write dozen reactions of sodium and chlorine. The moment sodium and chlorine have reacted together, what is going to be the situation in the case of Na? Na plus. And what happened to sodium here? Cl minus. They are inert and inactive. I don't have so many chemical properties to write in the case of sodium chloride, because already both of them have got the octet configuration. Therefore, this acceptance of one electron is rather difficult in the case of fluorine, because you are adding 8th electron to a shell which is already crowded, whereas it is not so in the case of this. Accepting fluorine, everything goes here. Down a group here, the added attraction towards the added electron should decrease. Now, I got one more question that is asked in the competitive examination. The answer, we know the answer already. Let me take oxygen gas. You don't need to mention that oxygen gas, only then it is called electron gain enthalpy. A metal converted into, remove your hand, sit straight. A metal is converted to a metal gas is converted to M plus. That definition alone is called ionization enthalpy, isn't it? Sodium is to be converted to Na plus. Sodium, first of all, has to be converted to sodium gas. Same way, you don't need to mention that. It is going to be O minus gas here. And you add one more electron. Copy this. Make a note of this. And this is going to be this. And that is called electron gain enthalpy. Now, I use the same, though strictly speaking it is not so. For the same reason, I also consider that as electron gain enthalpy. Okay, second electron gain enthalpy, first electron gain enthalpy. I make 4 statements. You know the answer already. This is a question asked in the advanced paper IIT. Advanced paper in IIT. Let's see how many of you are able to answer this advanced question in this. A. Both are positive. B. Both the things are negative, exothermic and exothermic. C. This is positive and that is negative. Electron energy is released. D. This is negative and that is positive. Meaning, In both the cases, they are reluctant to accept electrons. First electron, second electron. This accepts the first electron more readily. That is why energy is given out. And second electron also, it accepts readily. It is reluctant to accept the first electron here, positive, whereas it is able to accept second electron most readily, negative. That is what you mean by the sign of the values, isn't it? Now, it can accept one electron more readily, but acceptance of the second electron is rather difficult. Answer is D. Did you understand? It's a neutral atom, electronegative atom, no problem in accepting an electron because it's towards the gaining stability, towards attaining the octet here. Therefore, it has got greater attraction. Any electronegative element should attract electrons here, and the energy, first energy, where energy added, the first electron added, energy must be released, negative. Now, as I said, let us write the electronic configuration similar to that of fluorine here. What is the electronic configuration 2,6 here? What is the electronic configuration 2,7 here? And you are going to add 1/8 electron to a shell which is already crowded over there. Not only crowded here, there is already a negative charge here. At least in the case of the fluorine atom, remember what is the difference between adding one electron to the crowded, adding one electron which is already crowded here? This is neutral. This is negatively charged. In this situation, O minus and fluorine, which has got greater attraction towards the electron here? Fluorine only, because it's a neutral atom. That is why fluorine gives out energy, but O minus, it absorbs energy, because already you have got a negative charge. Make a note of it. These are the two explanations why the addition of the second electron becomes difficult. Does it make any sense to you? I'll repeat. Oxygen is going to be 2,6, electronegative element. Like any other electronegative element, oxygen accepts electron, attraction towards the electron, therefore the energy is given out, because it is towards the stability, towards the attainment of the octet configuration. Therefore, it has got high affinity. Now, it gets 2,7. 7 becomes crowded now. It can accommodate only 8, similar to that of fluorine. And what is the difference between adding 8th electron to the crowded shell, adding 8th electron to the crowded shell here? It's a neutral atom. Therefore, this has got a greater affinity toward the electron. Therefore, it's an exothermic process, whereas this is going to be endothermic process. That could be yet another question. O minus to O2 minus, F to F minus, both of them are exothermic, both of them endothermic. Oxygen, in the case of oxygen, is endothermic, this is exothermic. Understand? We have framed one more question here. O minus to O2 minus, endothermic, whereas F to F minus is exothermic. In terms of electronic configuration, both of them are identical. Is that clear?